Hi, I'm Tracy Sofra and welcome to the Women of Wealth podcast dedicated to helping women achieve financial independence and thrive in every area of her life. So today I want to talk about money advice that just doesn't work and what to do instead. Let's be real. We've all heard money advice that sounds wise and catchy and even empowering, if you like, until you actually try to apply it. Suddenly, the simple tips, they feel unrealistic, they feel ineffective, or just plain irrelevant to your personal life. If that's how you're feeling, you're not alone. Real life money management isn't a one-size-fits-all type scenario, right? So that's why today I'm going to be breaking down the most common financial advice that doesn't always work and what to do instead. So let's break it down in that way and make it really easy and digestible for you. So let's dive into the money advice that may be holding you back and better strategies to help you move forward. So what's the first one I'm going to share with you? I know you've all heard this one before. Here it is. Just stop buying lattes and you'll be rich. You think? We've all heard this one before. And if you just skip your daily coffee run, you'd have thousands of dollars in the bank, right? We're told that quite often, and I hear that, and I actually see it read it in articles and hear it on the telly. While this advice sounds catchy, it completely oversimplifies the reality of most people's finances, to be quite honest. Sure, $5 a day can add up, I get it, but most people aren't struggling because of the coffee. They're struggling because of high housing costs, debt, childcare, high cost of living, okay? Well, when was the last time you got a bill from if you're with Origin or went to the supermarket? So they're struggling with these higher end things. They're not struggling because of a coffee. So what do you want to do instead? Well, what should we do instead? Look at your big financial levers: housing, transportation, food. These are the primary areas that you can make meaningful change in. So let's not oversimplify it. Let's not be condescending about it with the coffee. Let's really focus on the big ticket items. So there are categories that usually eat up the largest chunk of your budget, and these are it. As I've mentioned, housing, transport, food, they're mainly the primary areas of your life. They're the levers you want to be able to pull. So what you want to ask yourself is things like this. Let's test that out and see what that looks like. Can I renegotiate my rent or shop around for cheaper insurance? There's a multitude of websites now that you can actually go and compare. The other day, my house insurance came due. It was over the top. So I went on and I said, insurance comparative websites, and a bunch of them came up. And we've got that information at our fingertips now. So you could renegotiate the insurance or renegotiate your rent. You could do a bunch of stuff. It is at your fingertips. You need to ask yourself things like, am I spending too much on takeout because I haven't meal prepped for the week? Meal prepping is such an easy thing. It stops you from overbuying. It keeps you focused. You don't have to think about what you're going to cook every night after dinner. The ingredients are in the house. Happy days. And let's face it, it's healthier for you. Another question you might want to ask yourself is, how could I lower my car payments or refinance a loan? Coming back to the main levers that are going to have an impact, not that single coffee. And once you address these big areas, the smaller habits, like your lattes, well, they become part of a sustainable budget, don't they? And not the focus of it, not the complete focus of it. And so if your coffee brings you joy and it fits in with your plan, I want you to enjoy it guilt-free. I know I do. And life's too short to cut out the lattes, isn't it, if you're a coffee lover? Number 2, worst advice or bad advice that we hear is just get a better job. Okay, well, this one assumes that landing a higher paying job is quick and easy. We know that nothing is that quick and easy, is it? While, yes, increasing your income, it is a great financial goal and shouldn't be discounted, it's not always within your immediate reach, okay? So career transitions, they take time, they take effort, and you need access to opportunities. Not to mention personal circumstances like caregiving, responsibilities and lack of transportation or even discrimination in hiring. All of these things can impact that particular advice. What to do instead? Well, Start with what's within reach right now. Can you look at picking up a freelance gig or offer a skill on the side like tutoring? There's a bunch of websites that also allow you to do this. We didn't have these things, 10, 20, 30 years ago. Upwork is one of them off the top of my head. There's a bunch of websites that you can actually put your photo in, put your resume, all of your experience, how long you've been doing it for, and all of these sorts of things are then become an opportunity for you to make more money on the side. Another question you want to be asking yourself or be able to do is, can you sell something or take on a short-term project to boost your income? Is that a possibility? Meanwhile, work on positioning yourself for better opportunities over time. So don't discount the fact that you could potentially get a better job if that's what you're looking for. And how can you put yourself in a better position for opportunities? Well, take a free online program to improve your skills, update your resume, and then pop it on LinkedIn and review your LinkedIn profile. Maybe join a professional network or community in your field. That often helps. This layered approach to growth gives you momentum while honouring your current realities. And as I mentioned, current realities, that just doesn't happen overnight. Another one I'm going to share with you. Don't worry about investing, just save money. The worst advice that I have heard, one of the worst advice, because it tells me that people don't understand the difference between saving and investing. Saving is important, yes, but it's not enough to build long-term wealth. When people say just save, they often mean well. We get that, okay? But without investing, your savings are slowly eroded by inflation. And a saving account, while it can help you with security, the investment that you're going to make is going to help you build wealth. So we save for cash cushion type scenarios, but we invest money to build wealth over time. So what can you do instead? As I mentioned, yes, your emergency fund should come first. I get it. And we experienced that through the pandemic and so on and so forth. But once you have a cushion, you need to start investing, even if it's just $20 to $25 a month. It's not the quantity that matters. It's the actual action that you've got to take. It's building momentum. It's using that investment muscle and to be consistent every single month. And as your income increases, you rework your budget, you can increase that at any time that you like. It's completely within your control. And you don't need to be an expert. So focus on learning the basics of things like index funds and ETFs. These things you can Google online. We've got Google AI now. It will tell you the bare basics or great definitions to help you understand what these are. Focus on learning the basics about superannuation. As I've always said, superannuation is a given. Every single person that is on a wage is receiving 12% of their gross income straight into super. It is a long-term investment. Start taking it seriously. Also, focus on learning the basics of compound interest and long-term growth. What are the differences? Really, really important factors to be aware of. Inquire about one of our financial education programs at Wow Women. We have a multitude of those. Because investing doesn't have to be complicated, and I can assure you it is not complicated. The programs I've created within our Wow offering is fundamental, is simple, easy to digest, clear, and it just builds confidence. Once you get the basic foundational knowledge and the basic principles under your belt, then when you put that information, that knowledge into practice by doing something, it builds that beautiful confidence that you have to be able to change your life once and for all. So investing is not complicated. It just needs to be consistent. Number 4, bad advice. Cut out everything non-essential. Oh, all of a sudden, how do you feel? My throat's tightened all of a sudden. I feel suffocated. I feel like I'm going to choke. I'm not sure how it makes you feel. This kind of advice actually leads to fast burnout. I've seen it time and time again. Telling people to cut out all joy and pleasure out of their budget, it may work temporarily. It might work for a month or two, but it often backfires, right? You feel deprived, you rebel against the deprivation and the strict rules, and you end up spending impulsively anyway, right? So what do? You go out and do stupid things. And this is exactly what we don't want you to do. We want consistency, we want a bit of joy, and we want to be strategic in our approach. So what should you do instead? Well, create a sustainable, balanced budget that includes fun and flexibility. This is the cornerstone to one of our flagship programs in the WOW family. What we have is we have the financial confidence program called Empower, and the cornerstone of that is the cash flow analysis, and it builds in there the fun bucket. We actually have a bucket called the fun bucket, and this is why we have the fun bucket, because we don't want anyone to go off on tangents and impulse shopping, and we want to create consistency, we want to create confidence, and we want to see progress, because when you see progress, you stick to it, don't you? And it builds that confidence. So you need to build in guilt-free spending money every single month. And we do that in our program, in the cash flow analysis. And again, it's not about the money that matters. It doesn't matter whether it's $20 or $200, depending on your level of income, obviously. This helps reduce impulse buys, right? And gives you something to enjoy while you're staying financially responsible. So don't forget, it is a nice balance between meeting commitments, having a bit of fun, and making sure that you're also thinking about your future self. As I always mention, paying yourself first. Ask yourself these particular questions when you're digesting this. Where can I cut back without resenting it? Again, looking at a budget, which we call cash flow analysis, allows you to scrutinize every single thing that's going on in your financial life. And it's not until you put it on paper that you can actually see it for what it really is and sit with it, question it, come back to it if you have to. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing scenario. You can take these things in steps. You can build your cash flow analysis one day, have a look at it, walk away, come back the next day, and come back daily until you get it to a place where you're happy. Go with it for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, come back to it again. I suggest early in the piece to actually review your cash flow analysis every single month. As you're getting your confidence up, as you're making decisions, as you're trying to, cut things back and get it to a nice medium equilibrium so it satisfies all areas of your life. So where can you cut back without resenting it? Cash flow analysis is the cornerstone and the key. What's one area I refuse to deprive myself in? Ask yourself this. And how can I make space for it intentionally? Again, the cash flow analysis and the steps I'm asking you to take is going to answer all of these questions. Sometimes you need to take the week to actually do it, review it, reassess it, realign it, put things in, take things out, walk away, come back. It's okay. It's not an exact science. There is no absolutes. There is no right or wrong, and it is person by person. It's not cookie cutter. It's individually based. So give yourself that time to do that. Ask yourself these questions to make sure that the end result is something you can live with. Remember, you're creating a money plan for your real life. Yeah? Not a fantasy version where nothing ever goes wrong or feels hard. Real life is different. We know this. Flexibility is part of what makes it work. So make sure you're doing exactly the steps that I've mentioned that will help you create success for yourself. And it's always up for grabs. It's always up for review, and it's always up for revisiting and realigning and tweaking. That's what you do with a cash flow analysis. That's the whole point of it. Number 5, what's another really bad bit of advice? You should have had it all figured out by now. Have you heard that one? Yeah. This one is loaded with shame, isn't it? A lot of shame. And we don't do shame. We don't do shame at WOW. There is no judgment. There is definitely no shame. There is love and support, and there is knowledge and power. There's coaching and mentoring, and that is what it's all about. So no one's figured it all out yet, okay? It implies that if you haven't reached certain milestones by a certain age, you've failed. And, who's the judge and jury here? I just want to call that out. But life doesn't follow a straight timeline, does it? Did every single one of you have a straight timeline in your lives to this point? Did you all, follow the perfect line of primary school, high school, and did you all go out and do your best in terms of your work or your university degree or your apprenticeships or whatever it may be? I know I didn't. Mine wasn't a straight line. I had quite a bit of time between, year 12 to then going to university. Life doesn't work that way, and we know this, so I'm not sure where this sort of advice is coming from. But neither does your financial journey. Your financial journey also doesn't follow a straight line. Some people start over in their 30s or 50s. It depends on your life and what's happened in your life. So be kind, be fair, be real. Others didn't grow up with access to financial education or inherited wealth, yeah? And many are navigating real obstacles with, possible redundancies or losing their jobs, caregiving, debt. Then there's illness. There's a lot of that going on. So I urge you to be kind to yourself. What to do instead? What should we do instead? Okay, well, focus on your starting point, not somebody else's highlight reel. Okay, get away from social media, get away from all of those things that are spruiking that everybody else is so much better than you, and you happen to have failed and you're stuck behind. As you know, comparison is just kills joy, doesn't it? Stop comparing yourself to anyone else and start focusing on your starting point. You can't go back and change when you began, yeah? But you can absolutely change where you're headed right now. You make a decision. If you're listening to me now and I'm in your car or in your ears or you're going for a run or going for a walk or sitting on the couch, wherever I am with you right now, I want you to visualize in your mind that you are going to make this decision right here, right now. Here is the line in the sand. Done. Agreed? Make that agreement with yourself. Forgive yourself for whatever's happened in the past. Stop beating yourself up and let's get to work from this point on. So start by asking yourself, what are my top 3 money goals over the next 12 months? No one is editing this. No one is scrutinizing it. This is nothing you've got to hand in. Get a piece of paper. Get a little journal book if you want to. Whatever floats your boat. It doesn't really matter. And just write it down off the top of your head, unedited. Chuck it on a bit of paper. 3 money goals over the next 12 months. I'm not asking whether you can achieve it. I'm just saying put it there. Put it out in the big wide world. Write it down. What's the worst thing that could happen? Absolutely nothing. You might even achieve them. Yeah? What's one small habit? Here's another one to ask yourself. What's one small habit I can start this week to support those goals? One small habit. Just going to put in a plug here for a book that I read quite a number of years ago called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. He talks about these small habits and he talks about the impact that they have on the overall end result. And he also, the scariest part is, and it's just come to mind as I'm chatting to you here, scariest part is it works in reverse. So if you don't do something, you actually go backwards rather than forwards. So standing still, he says, is not an option. You either go forwards or you're going to go backwards. You've got to choose which one you're going to do. Really great plug for that book. It is insane. It has to be. I've read a lot of books in my time. Let me tell you, it's got to be one of the best books I've ever read. So coming back to the point where he talks about, and I'm talking about these small habits, they are incredibly powerful. Do not underestimate the power of that one small habit. So again, write this down. Give yourself time to think about it. Have a bit of a digest. What's the one small habit I can start this week to support those 3 goals that I've just put down? Or here's another one. Who or what can I turn to for support and education? Support and education. Support in your immediate circle is really, really important. Make sure you're choosing people you trust and people that will elevate you, people that will help empower you and not pull you back. If you don't have any of those, find some. If you can't find some, look at educational programs such as the ones that we have at WOW. Check out all our other podcasts with our special guests from ladies who have completed the Financial Confidence Program and have a listen to them. And they will give you a really great outline of what our programs are all about if you're second guessing yourself and if you're not sure, or if you're in that space where you just think, oh, I just can't do it. I'm just stuck. I don't know who to trust, what to do or where to go. I can highly recommend listening to our beautiful members from our WOW community. But yeah, get some support, get some education behind you. Give yourself grace. This is really important. Be kind to yourself. Progress is what matters, not perfection. There is no such thing as perfection. I've battled with this my whole life, and quite a number of years ago have given into there is no such thing as perfection. There's just action. So take action. Imperfect action doesn't really matter. Here's another one, number 6. Don't talk about money. It's rude. Okay? Yeah? Remember that one? Still thrown around quite often. This is an outdated belief that keeps people underpaid, underinformed, and overwhelmed. Start talking about money. I talk about money all the time for obvious reasons. When we don't talk about money, we won't or we don't learn how to manage it, to negotiate it, or grow it. And it sits under this veil of, we shouldn't be talking about money. It's quite rude. Money is part of almost every decision we make. Think about your life without money. Money comes into play in every single aspect of our lives. So every decision we make, where we live, what we eat, how we care for ourselves, how we raise our kids, every single decision is based on money. Yeah? It's an economic reality. So keeping it taboo, the topic of not speaking about money, only reinforces inequity or inequality, if you like, and confusion, to be quite honest, a lot of confusion. So what do we want to do instead? Well, we want to start small and we want to talk to a trusted friend about how you're budgeting. Again, trusted is the key word here, trusted friend. So talk to a trusted friend about how you're budgeting. Ask your HR team to explain your super, or get onto your super team. They've got helplines now where they've got their own advisors, in-house advisors. Get on the phone. That's what they're there for, right? Share a financial podcast episode with your group chat. Yours truly. Share one of my podcasts with your group chat, with your girlfriends. Mention it to somebody. Share with your kids or siblings what you're learning. Share with them all the time. At WOW Women, we believe that normalising money conversations is a form of empowerment, and we're all about empowerment. If you've listened to all of my other podcasts, you know that's why we exist. It's for the empowerment of women. And when you speak up, you not only grow within yourself, you help others to grow as well. You're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for everyone around you, and that is really powerful. I'm going to now share with you a few expert tips to solidify the topic of getting bad advice and what to do instead. And I wanted to bring this into the conversation because I thought this was a really important part to kind of round off the conversation with. The best money advice is the kind that honours your reality, not just your goals, your actual reality. So if something feels off or unrealistic, I want you to trust that instinct. I'm all about trusting your gut instinct, okay? You don't have to follow popular advice to be successful. You just have to build a plan that's true to you and one that you can stick with. That's what's most important. What's the most important money habit to build? Questions that I get. I thought I'd throw these in here. The most powerful habit is consistency. Be consistent. Do it on a continuous basis. Don't give it up. Don't try it and I didn't like it and I'm not doing it again. Yeah? We're not trying a different food or a different colour of nail polish. This is your life and this is your financial life. Whether it's saving or budgeting or investing or learning, doing a little bit regularly, this is the consistency part, will always beat doing a lot at once. I got a question recently about do I pay off my mortgage right now and then in my later 50s really smash my super and work towards it in my 50s? Now, I believe this person that asked the question was around 35, 40. And the obvious answer to this is obvious to me, but let me reiterate this. You've got to do it all at once. Throwing a lot at an investment 10 years out is never going to be as powerful as throwing half of that money over a 20-year time frame, because it's the time frame that matters. The power of compound requires two ingredients, money and time is the most powerful ingredient of them all. So my answer to that person was, you've got to pay off your mortgage and you've got to contribute to your investment or super or whatever it may be, all at the same time, because you don't want to miss out on the power of compound, which is the time factor. So doing a little bit regularly will always beat doing a lot at once. Focus on building steady financial habits and the results will follow, I promise you. Choose advice that fits your real life. I really want you to focus on that. So I'm going to say that again. Choose advice that fits your real life. There's a lot of stuff out there that people go off on tangents and it's not real and it's this, daydream sort of fabricated world. Choose advice that fits your real life. The next time you hear money advice that feels off, I want you to pause, take a breath, it's okay, and ask yourself, does this fit my life? Does it align with my values and goals? If not, it's okay to leave it behind. Don't feel pressured. Don't feel bullied. Don't look at those around you who are following this pathway and think that they're better off. Because sometimes we fear that we are either clueless, we've got it wrong, they look like they're successful, I just better follow the pack, I better do what everybody else is doing. I want you to be courageous. I want you to focus on yourself, and I want you to deep down give yourself the space to recognize who you are, what's important to you, what you stand for, and where you're going, not where everybody else is going. So it's okay to leave it behind. Financial success isn't about following every rule perfectly, okay? It's about finding what works for you and doing it consistently. Finding what works for you and doing that consistently. That's it. Like, out of everything that I've said, take that bit, right? You don't need perfect advice. You need relevant advice, relevant to you. And the best way to find it is by staying curious, staying honest, and staying true to your own journey. This is your journey. This is about you. It is not cookie cutter. Don't be railroaded by other people. If it doesn't feel right, don't follow it. I'm going to leave you with that final thought. If you need help creating a better financial foundation, then make sure to book a call with one of our financial strategists. They can help you with all sorts of things: cash flow, finances, investing, and a heap more. We've got a multitude of programs. We're so powerful with our support system and our coaching and our mentoring and the vision that everyone has at WOW. We're here to help you create a secure income in retirement. All you got to do is go to wowwomen.com.au, click on the link to our programs, and best of all, the call is absolutely free. If you found today's episode particularly helpful, please share it with a friend or leave a review. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until next time, take control of your wealth and your future.